Hey David, this is the tutorial and presentation for the John Bannon's SortaPsychic combined with Bernardo's Tantalizer. And I hope you enjoy it. This is basically for my benefit to help me lock it down and remember it and to be able to refresh myself later. So here's the way it goes. Check it out. In the Bannon effect, SortaPsychic, a regular deck of cards is used, is thoroughly shuffled by the spectator. And in this case, I'm going to deal 3 rows of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to act like I'm about to do the old 21 card trick. But in this case, I'm saying, let's do this a little differently. Let me take these 21 cards, mix them up a bit, and we're going to let you actually determine one card. And let's pretend for a moment that the spectator chooses the king. Well, how about a better one? How about the King of Hearts? King of Hearts. Now, when they learn that, they don't actually choose that. They just look at it and remember it. And the idea here is to see if we can test their intuition. So I deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards here. The balance of the cards, which would be 11, would be here. And I have them hold their hand over which one would contain their card. And so, as you can look through, this one does not, so that pack goes on the bottom. The pack that does contain their card would actually go on top. And now we do the unshuffle, where we up jog every other card. And when we do that, we then split the deck into 2 halves, and we allow them again to place their hand, determined by intuition which packet contains their card. We'll go with this one again. And in this particular case, there's no King of Hearts. So again, this pack would go on the bottom. The one containing their card goes on top. One more time, we do the unshuffle and separate the 2 halves. And so far, they're 0 and 2. So let's say they pick this one. Well, in this case, the King of Hearts is not located. So they literally struck out and went 0 for 3. Now, their card is either going to be on top or it's going to be in the second position. So what we have to do is a double out. And so I usually at this point spread the cards and say, do you still remember your card? You haven't been very lucky or intuitive in finding it, but you actually move the top card to the bottom so that now your 2 outs are either on the bottom or on the top. And we have them do the cross-cut force, and we kind of glance and notice that their card is the bottom of the top half. And so that tells you the location and where you need to be with your double out. And say, sometimes intuition is something that happens in the mind, but it can be actually translated into the sense of touch. And you cut these cards. Let's see what you cut to. And there it is, the King of Hearts. Now, when the selected card is determined by finalizing the SortaPsychic routine, I take and scoop these up and place them on top of the deck, which places their card now 21 from the top. And as you know, in the Tantalizer effect, the card needs to be at the 22nd position. So my thought is either do something like this. We've been working with just a small packet, but now we can work with a larger packet. Or the other idea was to just pick up the cards and leave some behind, and then put one card on top of the deck so that we now have the King of Hearts at the 22nd position. Now, if the suspect, or the spectator rather, was successful in locating their card in the previous phase, we can say, look, why don't we do this? Why don't we increase the odds of you finding your card by intuition, by using the entire deck instead of just a small packet of cards. And so at this point, we would separate the deck as the Tantalizer tells us to do. And so now we have a 50-50 chance. Do you think your card would be in this stack or this stack? And regardless of what they say, the card is going to be over here, as we know. So I would probably do some type of a magician's choice here and say, which one do you think it's in? If they say here, fine. If you say here, I would say, I tend to agree with you, but you know, there's always a possibility. There's a 1 in 2 chance that it could be here or it could be here. I happen to think it's here. I don't know how you feel about it, but let's make the odds a little bit more in your favor here. So I take this packet and I deal it one card, splitting this packet, and say if we do this and we split the packet that I think the card is in, it'll still be a 50-50 chance between these two packets. However, if I put these cards here, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cards here, and a whole bunch of cards here. So now the odds are about 4 to 1 against the card being in this packet. But let's make it even more interesting. Let's split the packet again and add more cards to your half and less cards to my half. Now, what do you think the odds would be? Well, I'll tell you what, you have a little money, I've got a wager. Now we've got just a few. I'll tell you what, we'll do it one more time. Now only have one card. Would you be willing to bet that the card you're thinking of, and remember the King of Hearts is in this stack, be it as it may, or this stack, be it as it may? And most people would probably take that bet. And of course, we show them that the card is the only remaining card in that stack. So that's it.